Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So for today's video, we are going to talk about from hope to achievement and unlocking opportunities. Okay, so when we talk about hope to achievement, I know I have mentioned previously that I do not believe in hopes, but believe it or not, that hope is something that is like a faith, right? Okay, you believe that and you wish something's gonna happen for you. So what you're meant to be is what you will be. So all these things would determine it if you have that sort of mentality with you, right? If you have always thought like, okay, how would being how do I go from being hopeful to to achieve my own goals, right? It was a really um beautiful thing to think about. For me is that I have always dreamt about my goals. I have always made sure uh to work on that, because dreaming is one thing, and dreaming and being hopeful is one thing, and then not applying and working hard and working smart in order to achieve that is another thing. So for me, I have done that the initial stage, which is to dream and to actually be hopeful, and then eventually I walk into the sense of working into that, being determined into finding out that, you know what, this is what I'm meant to be. So I start achieving, because achieving your goals is when you set your goals at first, right? So when you set your goals, and then you have your short term, long term goals, you know what to prioritize, you know your weaknesses, your strengths, you know how to deal with whatever that's happening around you, you know how to balance your studies and your personal life, you know how to um, find a way to any obstacle or challenge that is thrown to you. Basically, that's how I achieved from being hopeful to being a plus or a bright student with scholarship on hand. Yeah, and when we talk about unlocking opportunities, right? I think I have already mentioned this in my previous video, where I that when you know how to give back into the society, you know what you are focusing on, you know what to prioritize, you know what your attributes are, like what are your good attributes, your good personality, your good character, what built you in the first place. You know how to overcome whatever problems or whatever issues, right? Though I know it sounds like I'm repeating the same thing, or it's even the same thing that I'm repeating from just now, or from my previous videos, but then you need to realize that it's that how you unlock your opportunities for the future is when you work from day one. You work from scratch. So you work from, if let's say you are in high school, you start from the first day of your grade or your classes, you know, or you work from the first day of a semester to achieve that goals. If you want to get A's, you work through that goals. You want to get to where you are. So like basically what I'm trying to tell you is this: you work in your short-term goals, then you have your medium goals. If you have your medium goals, it's very easy already, because you're working towards that. From your short-term goals, you're going into your medium-term goals, and then from there, you have your long-term goals. Your long-term goals is where you are opening doors for yourself. Okay, for instance, like me, I have unlocked my doors. Okay, my doors are pretty simple. I have worked very hard from day one, so now when I'm doing my internship, it's pretty easy because now there are so many companies. Okay, not I wouldn't go bragging like there's so many companies out there is willing to give me a job, but why wouldn't they give me a job, right? Obviously, I have all the skills that I need to get into that job, and also you need to know, you need to understand the tactics, you need to learn the hard way of getting a job. Like for me, I got into the best publication in Malaysia. I got into the Star publication, okay? And I am happy, I am proud that I am working for them. I'm just in my internship, right? And I am working for a very high, it's not a high class company, but I would say it has been in the industry for a very long term, okay? So I have worked, I'm working for an industry that has appeared in Malaysia for a very long time already. So I am happy to be part of them. So whatever knowledge that I have, whatever skills that I have from my baking business, from my studies, from my education, whatever I've gone through, I take the experience, I go into the Star, and then whatever voids that's happening in the company, I try to fill in with whatever I'm good at. So for example, okay, in the Star, I'm working under the events team. So being part of the team, they have 3 events per year in like different sort of things that they handle, right? Like for example, in the Star events, we have education fair, we have Star job fair, my Star job fair, we have Star property, so, and we have Soba Connect. So we have all these things happening, right? I am part of handling Star education fair. So for Star education fair, obviously, oh yeah, just another disclaimer, yeah. Star is not sponsoring for this video. I'm just giving you my experience, my knowledge of what I'm going through at the Star right now. So far, I'm in my 5th week of studying, and I have come to realize that whatever I've learned in university, right? It's not about how much you learn in university and coming into the Star and trying to like apply everything from the books to real life, but to also explore what they're trying to teach. Whatever that they're trying to teach, I'm an open book. So I am expecting like feedbacks, opinions, like what, you know, I have mentioned this previously, right? Like the same method that you, when you do your assignments early, you complete it early, you send to your lecturers, you get their feedback and opinions, you take their criticism into considerations, and then from there you do your amendments, and that's what makes you a good student, right? It's the same thing when you go and work in the working world. It is the same thing, okay? Because you have superiors above you, so when you go and work under them, you need to get their opinion before you can even post something, before you can even do anything. You need to sometimes ask what are the opinions on that, and then you have to get their feedbacks and then take it into consideration. But when you work with your superiors, you cannot go and be defensive. You cannot be like, I'm entitled to this, I am good at what I am. No, you always have to be an open book. Whatever that they're teaching you, let it absorb in you, right? and from there you'll be able to open more doors. So like I just recently went and met my HR, and my HR was asking like, Aruni, how is your, so far you have been working for them, how is that, how is your working life going on, you know, and then what's your is your experience getting well? I said yes, I'm learning a lot of things, even though sometimes I feel annoyed, sometimes I feel like stressed, sometimes I feel like why whatever I'm trying to say is not being conveyed to them, and then sometimes it's like a two-way miscommunication problem. But at the end of the day, it's all a learning process for me. I'm learning a lot of new things as I go along working for them. So I'm not only saying this when I'm working in Star. When I used to work last time in the F&B industry, it was the same thing. I used to work in the F&B industry as a part-timer, and working for them, it was definitely not easy, okay? But I can tell you this is that I have learned so many things. This was also thanks to my mom, because she pushed me into working. Like the minute I finished my SPM, I went and worked. So when I went and worked, I gained more experience. I tried to understand what the working world is about. What kind of people do I have to deal with? Who am I dealing with? What kind of superiors? What kind of colleagues do I have to get along with? You know. So when I worked, I realized how much of unfairness are there. Even if I'm working with men or women, there's no difference to it. Okay, I'm not being gender biased or whatever you're trying to say. Like, I'm not discriminating anybody. I'm telling you the truth. What I've been through, I've been discriminated 3/4 of my life. So it's into no surprise that they are the ones who always treated me unfairly. However, the superiors above, like the HR, the marketing department, the people above that have seen my qualities. They have seen how hard I worked. They have seen the potential in me. They even literally even begged me, and they were like, Aruni, can you continue working for us? You are the best employee that we have got. And I had no choice but to leave the company, because I had to continue my studies, and it was difficult for me to handle like so many things in one go. Obviously, I'm good in multitasking, but at that point, because I had to deal with um my parents, and I also had to deal with work and my studies, it was just too much to juggle around with. So I decided to quit my work, and I decided to focus on my studies 100%, give my all for it, and also take care of my parents as I go by. So, what I'm trying to emphasize, what I'm trying to tell you is this, that no matter what the challenges that's thrown to you, you need to learn how to unlock your own doors, your own opportunities as you go by. When you are studying, the new generation, this young generation, they have to learn. You have to learn how to come up in life through the hard way. When you come up the hard way, is when you realize the importance, you realize what you're good at, you realize what you're deficient at as well. And then that's how you make yourself proud. That's how you build yourself as a person to achieve your goals if you want. Okay, so it's not something I never would discourage somebody who want to go and work. You can always work and study at the same time if you don't have any other side, if you have no other choice, right? If you have to take care of your parents who are not financially stable, and on top of that, your there's just a lot of burden happening in your family, go work. You know, you would learn what the world is about when you go out and work with people. When you deal with people, that's when you realize there are good people, and at the same time there are bad people. But in the world that we live in now, there are more bad people than good people. So it's very rare you can find 1 to 2 good people out of the 10 or out of the 5. You know, I like, when my parents, they come and tell me any advice, and they say, like, Aruni, we have met so many good people in our lives. I always tell you this. I always tell them this, okay? That our parents, that they, during their generation, they have seen a lot of good people that come along their way. But nowadays, it's just so difficult to even find one good people to surround yourself with. And the people that most of the time you're surrounding yourself with, you don't even know that you're digging yourself into a big hole until it's too late. That's when you realize, what have I gotten myself into? You know, it's just a very, so it's, sometimes it's just unintentional that you fall into those circumstances, but at the same time, it's inevitable unless you intentionally fall into that willingly, and you feel like, what, I just want to be cool, I want to adapt to the society, I want to adapt to all my friends doing the same things. Then you are digging yourself into way bigger hole than the person who even didn't even want to do it in the first place, right? So you need to build yourself. Always build, continuously build. I'm gonna tell this all the time, right? Building yourself and understanding where you come from is very, very crucial. Okay, if you do not have this seriousness in yourself, you do not take life seriously, you always take life as you take life so lightly, and then you feel like, I'm just gonna chill, and then be like, I'm gonna like just cool myself, be the chill bill, come on. I mean, be practical, be logical, right? Okay, it's, if you're gonna do all that kind of things, you're not living the real world, you're living the dream world that would never ever exist in a million years, right? The million years would, even in another million years to come, people are going to be like, 3/4 of the society is going to be like haywire with so much of problems because of the lack of education. People are making education into business, and nobody is understanding what education is trying to offer in the first place. Okay, people are taking things so granted to an extent where other people will actually take advantage of that situation and make it into a business, or make it into something that they want to do. I'm not trying to say that everybody is like that, every university is like that, every workplace is like that, but you gotta know where you're going. Okay, you like, for me now, I'm in Segi University. I got the scholarship, I got high achiever scholarship. You think that the university would give it to me if I did not if I did not work hard, if I did not uh work smart in the first place, if I did not have that determination? No, obviously not. Even my own lecturers, right, I had to prove to them in the first place that what I'm worth. If I did not prove to them in the first place, they wouldn't be able to even help me out as time passes. Nobody would help me. Today, if I did not achieve the scholarship, nobody would know who is Aruni. Nobody would know what kind of person Aruni is, how Aruni achieved in life. Nobody would know anything, because Aruni is, everybody would think this, that, oh, Aruni is just a freeloader who wants to take the parents' money and spend for university fees. But nobody will realize that if I want to achieve this, I have to make mistakes along the way. I have to go through the challenges. I have to go through so many things, and I have to overcome those challenges in life in order to get to where I am. So that's where I say that being hopeful, and from being hopeful to achieving my goals and eventually unlocking my achievements. It's something that I'm very proud of until today. I am very, very happy of the outcome, and I have a tad more to go in my education. But I will always continuously give back to the society. I have always believed in giving back to the society, and it's not something difficult for me because I have believed in myself. I know that the younger generation, they would need someone to also push them to thrive to what they want to achieve. Because of whatever that they're going through, they feel like, we need somebody, we need someone to hang on to. But I'm telling you this, do not ever hang on to nobody, because at the end of the day, whoever you're hanging on to will leave you. Because life is like this. The minute you snap your fingers, anything could happen. Okay? Anybody could leave you, anybody could die, anybody could fall, anybody could go into prison, anybody could just disappear into thin air. Okay? So, understanding all this will make you strong. Always make you strong. Make yourself strong to an extent where it's your foundation in yourself. When you build this foundation of being strong to an extent where even a tornado can't even hit you, I'm not saying an actual tornado, okay? I'm not saying literally a tornado can't hit you. Literally a real tornado can hit you, but I'm talking about tornado of life, tornado of challenges. When it hits you, you wouldn't fall down. You can, even if you fall down, you'll be able to get back on your feet again. It's to that extent I'm trying to motivate you to become that person. Right? It's not difficult. It always takes yourself, it takes you to achieve that goals, to become that person, to dream, and eventually to open doors to your future self, and one day look back and say, I have nothing to regret. I have always been proud. I'll continue to do so. I will always give back to the society. I will always make my parents happy. I will always try to help my lecturers in any way that they need me. I will always help the society to become better. Obviously, you can't help the entire society out there, but you can help a very small minority who wants to change to become better. So, my lesson for today is this. Never ever give up. Always learn to stand with your 2 feet and make that the foundation. You will see very nice things happening to you. You will see the people around you loving you. Right? Alright, that's all for today's motivation. This is Aruni signing off. Peace.